Yandy could hardly believe her eyes. It was a sunny afternoon, and she was scrolling through her phone, hoping for a moment of peace, when it happened Tamar had just posted a vacation photo with Mendeecees. Not just any photo, but one that radiated pure happiness. Smiles stretching from ear to ear, sun glinting off the ocean, palm trees swaying lazily in the background. Fans immediately noticed the chemistry, the undeniable connection, and the comments section exploded within minutes. "This is wild," one fan wrote, while another exclaimed, "How did we not see this coming?" Yandy's heart sank, her hands trembled, her coffee went cold, and suddenly the room felt smaller, suffocating, like the walls were closing in on her. Memories flooded back inside jokes, whispered promises, moments she thought were private, now splashed across social media for the world to see. Her friends had been trying to warn her, sending cryptic messages like, "Did you see this?" or "Brace yourself," but she had brushed them off, thinking it was just another rumor. This time, it wasn't a rumor. It was real, in living color, in front of everyone. The tension didn't stay contained. Her phone buzzed nonstop with notifications, screenshots, direct messages, group chats full of emojis, shocked faces, and even cryptic memes implying betrayal. Each ping felt like another punch to her chest. Yandy tried to process it calmly, but emotions ran high. Questions swirled in her mind. Why now? Why there? Was this intentional? And most importantly, was anyone else involved? Meanwhile, Tamar seemed untouchable in the photo. She wore a carefree smile, arms draped casually around Mendeecees, eyes sparkling with a secret Yandy felt she should have known. The image radiated a confidence and joy that Yandy hadn't seen in months. Fans were talking. They were dissecting every pixel, analyzing body language, debating motives. Social media influencers chimed in, spreading theories and adding fuel to the fire. The family was left divided. Friends were whispering in hushed tones, speculating about what had led to this moment. And even neutral observers couldn't stay silent. Yandy's reactions, as they started leaking online, only added fuel to the frenzy. Some fans expressed sympathy, others criticized her restraint or lack thereof. Emotions ran high, and arguments erupted in comments sections, with followers taking sides like spectators in a gladiator arena. Yandy could feel the pressure mounting. She wasn't just dealing with her own heartbreak but also the court of public opinion. Each judgmental comment slicing a little deeper. But this was only the beginning. As the hours passed, whispers of secret confrontations, hidden messages, and private conversations started surfacing. Someone claimed they had inside knowledge. Another hinted at a surprise twist waiting to shake the entire reality TV world. Yandy's breakdown was imminent. The drama was escalating. And fans knew one thing for certain. Nothing would ever be the same again. The stage was set. The players were in position, and the tension was almost unbearable. Yandy's world had been flipped upside down in a single scroll. The question on everyone's lips: how would she respond? Would she confront Tamar? Would Mendeecees speak out? Or would the silence itself speak volumes, leaving fans desperate for answers and speculation running wild? In the coming hours, emotions would explode, alliances would crumble, and secrets that were meant to stay buried would threaten to surface in ways nobody could predict. The drama was only just beginning. Yandy sat on her couch, phone trembling in her hand, staring at Tamar's vacation photos as if it had burned itself into her mind. The sunlight streaming through the blinds couldn't reach the storm brewing inside her. She had thought she knew every chapter of her life, every twist and turn in her own story, but this was a twist she hadn't seen coming. Fans had already blown up social media, dissecting the photo frame by frame, analyzing every glance, every smile, every subtle movement. The comments section was a battlefield. Some cheered, some jeered, and some whispered ominous theories about secrets and betrayals. The notifications kept coming, relentless, and each ping was a reminder that the world was watching her reaction. She remembered the last time she and Mendeecees had been together, the laughter they shared, the arguments that had felt monumental at the time but now seemed trivial in comparison. And there was Tamar, all smiles and sunshine, in a snapshot that would make any heart crack with jealousy. She scrolled back through old messages, searching for a sign, a hint that this was coming. Nothing. No warning, no subtle hint, no whisper of what was brewing behind closed doors. The betrayal, or what she perceived as betrayal, hit her like a wave, and she felt herself sinking into panic. Her phone rang. It was one of her closest friends, Yandy. "I saw it," they said, voice trembling. "You okay?" She tried to answer casually, but the words stuck in her throat. I don't know," she whispered, tears threatening to fall. Her friend paused, sensing the gravity of the moment. Look, people are talking. Fans are losing it. Just breathe. Okay, but how could she breathe when everything she thought she understood about trust, loyalty, and love seemed to collapse in an instant? Meanwhile, Tamar's post continued to spread. Every new share, every like, every comment felt like another blow. There were fans speculating that this was revenge, that Tamar had been waiting for the perfect moment to show up and outshine Yandy. Others wondered if Mendeecees had orchestrated it, deliberately putting Yandy through public humiliation. The ambiguity only fueled the fire. People started creating memes, some mocking, some sympathetic, but all keeping the drama alive. Yandy's phone became a portal into chaos, and she felt trapped inside it, unable to escape the scrutiny of the public eye. She decided to step outside for a moment, to clear her mind, but even the fresh air couldn't help. Neighbors were chatting on porches, some discreetly pointing, some whispering, and she felt the walls of her world closing in. Her friends tried to support her, some offering advice, others giving her space. But the tension between private pain and public spectacle was unbearable. Yandy's emotions swung wildly. Anger, betrayal, confusion, sadness all collided inside her, leaving her breathless. She felt as though she were walking a tightrope over a pit of uncertainty, and any misstep could send her tumbling. Hours passed, and the drama only escalated. Someone leaked screenshots of past conversations between Yandy and Mendeecees, messages that had been deleted months ago, revealing arguments, frustrations, and moments of vulnerability. Fans pored over these texts, interpreting every line, every emoji, as proof of motives and hidden truths. The speculation became feverish. "They're hiding something," one user wrote. "Look at this," another said, dissecting a cryptic reply that hinted at tension months before. Yandy felt the walls of privacy crumble, her life exposed like a live feed for millions to analyze. As the night deepened, the emotional toll became too heavy. Yandy retreated to her bedroom, locking the door, but her mind was a storm she couldn't quiet. She remembered conversations with Tamar, friendly exchanges that now seemed superficial, masking hidden agendas. She wondered about Mendeecees' perspective. Was he innocent in all this? Or had he played a part, intentionally or unintentionally, in this unfolding spectacle? Her thoughts spiraled. She knew the public wanted answers, but the truth felt elusive, like smoke slipping through her fingers. Then came the calls from media outlets, each one clamoring for her reaction, for a statement, for a soundbite. Reporters, influencers, even bloggers wanted her side. But speaking publicly meant exposing herself further, giving fans and critics more material to dissect. She hesitated, caught between self-preservation and the pressure to defend her story. "Do I answer?" she asked herself aloud. Her reflection in the mirror stared back, eyes red from suppressed tears. "What can I even say?" she whispered. Each potential response seemed loaded with consequence. A single word could ignite another storm. Meanwhile, Tamar's social media post didn't slow. New photos appeared, videos, boomerangs, stories, all capturing lighthearted moments between her and Mendeecees. The imagery was undeniable chemistry, intimacy, and happiness. Fans were in uproar. Hashtags began trending, debates flared, and messages flooded Yandy from strangers and acquaintances alike. Some were supportive, some judgmental, and some downright malicious. The intensity of the digital reaction mirrored the chaos inside her own mind. She felt like a character in a story she hadn't written, caught in a plot that everyone else seemed to control. Then came the whispers of confrontation. Insiders hinted that a private meeting had occurred, a tense exchange between Yandy, Tamar, and Mendeecees, though no one knew exactly what was said. Speculation ran wild. Yandy stormed out, one source claimed. "There was yelling," said another. Fans imagined the scene, slamming doors, raised voices, dramatic accusations, and the frenzy intensified. Yandy could feel herself teetering on the edge, the pressure mounting. The personal and public collided, leaving her no sanctuary. Friends urged her to document her feelings, to write it down, to let it out. She tried, scribbling in a journal, fragments of emotions spilling onto pages. Anger intertwined with longing, hurt tangled with disbelief. Each sentence was a release, a confession, a cry for understanding, yet the catharsis was partial. The outside world had already interpreted her story in ways she couldn't control. Social media had painted a narrative, fans had taken sides, and the family, caught in the crossfire, was divided, unsure where their loyalties should lie. Night turned to early morning, and Yandy found herself scrolling again, unable to resist. The vacation photos had multiplied, videos had been uploaded, reactions amplified. Influencers created commentary videos, dissecting body language, analyzing tone, predicting next moves. Every notification sent her heart racing. Her emotions were raw, jagged, and unfiltered, a reflection of the chaos engulfing everyone involved. Fans speculated about every private moment, every glance, every gesture captured and magnified. And then a message appeared from an unknown number, claiming insider knowledge, hinting at secrets that could shatter everything. "You don't know the half of it," it read. Yandy felt a cold shiver run down her spine. Was this a threat, a warning, or simply another layer of drama? She didn't know, but the uncertainty gnawed at her. Every thought was haunted by possibilities, each more dramatic than the last. She realized that this was more than a simple social media FUD. It had become a narrative in which she was both protagonist and victim, the world watching her unravel in real time. Throughout the day, she replayed moments over and over, conversations, shared laughter, arguments, private jokes, all now tainted by the public display of happiness she had witnessed. The jealousy, the confusion, the betrayal, all intensified by the sheer visibility of it. Fans commented on her expressions, her photos, her social media presence, dissecting micro-expressions, interpreting silence, assigning motives. She felt trapped in a reality where her every emotion was currency for speculation, where her inner turmoil had become a spectacle for entertainment. Even her closest allies couldn't shield her from the storm. Texts, calls, DMs, all merged into a constant hum of external pressure. Someone leaked another old photo, hinting at past indiscretions, fueling the drama further. Fans theorized, debated, and argued over motives, loyalties, and possible confrontations. Yandy's personal grief was now intertwined with a public narrative, one she had no control over. She tried to breathe, tried to ground herself, but the weight of expectation, emotion, and speculation pressed down relentlessly. By afternoon, the intensity reached a boiling point. A rumored confrontation between Tamar and Yandy had fans in a frenzy. Some claimed Tamar had posted the photo intentionally, a move calculated to provoke. Others argued that Yandy's silence was strategic, a method of regaining control. And Mendeecees, his presence or absence was equally scrutinized. Every move, every word, every silence was parsed, replayed, and dissected. The emotional stakes had never been higher, the drama never more consuming. Yandy's world was spinning. She wanted answers, closure, confrontation, understanding, but the path was unclear. Every choice seemed loaded with consequence. Every thought felt amplified, every feeling exaggerated by the magnifying lens of social media. And in the midst of this whirlwind, she realized that the story was far from over. Secrets would surface, alliances would shift, emotions would ignite, and the world would be watching, hungry for every twist, every tear, every revelation. The storm was just beginning, and Yandy knew that surviving it would demand strength she wasn't sure she had. The suspense, the chaos, the drama, it all loomed ahead, promising twists that would leave fans talking for weeks. The next morning, Yandy woke to a barrage of notifications that made her heart pound before she even opened her eyes. Social media had exploded overnight, and the photo Tamar posted seemed to have multiplied in significance. Every news outlet, fan page, and influencer had dissected the vacation snapshot, each analysis more dramatic than the last. Yandy breaking down Tamar's secret vacation with Mendeecees. Family drama exposed headlines screamed, each designed to provoke, to stoke the flames. She tried to scroll calmly, but every post, every comment, felt like a hammer striking her chest. She had anticipated curiosity, maybe even some gossip, but the intensity of the frenzy was suffocating. Her phone buzzed again, this time with a call from her sister. "Yandy, are you okay? I saw everything. Everyone's talking." Her voice trembled with concern. Yandy sighed, rubbing her temples. "I don't even know what to say anymore," she whispered. "It's like my life is a show everyone's tuning into without my permission." Her sister tried to reassure her, but even kind words felt distant, drowned out by the roar of public opinion. Fans were dissecting her every post, analyzing her expressions in old photos, scrutinizing past interviews, and creating narrative arcs out of fragments of her life. She was caught in a storm she hadn't asked for, and the emotional toll was immense. As she gathered herself, a new twist arrived. An anonymous insider leaked a private conversation between Tamar and Mendeecees, showing playful banter and subtle flirtations. The leak, whether intentional or accidental, set the internet ablaze. Fans reacted instantly, choosing sides, defending their favorites, and speculating about the implications. The debate was relentless, the judgments harsh, and Yandy felt as if the walls of privacy had completely collapsed. Every day, she had to navigate not only her personal heartbreak but also the court of public opinion, which seemed eager to pass judgment before the facts were even known. In the midst of this chaos, Yandy's friends urged her to take control of her narrative. "You need to speak up before this gets worse," one suggested. "Don't let social media decide your story for you." But she hesitated. Every word she might say could be twisted, turned into fodder for the next round of drama. She wanted to confront Tamar to ask Mendeecees what he was thinking, but the stakes were high, and the public was watching. Any action, any conversation, could ignite another wave of speculation. Her mind raced, plotting and analyzing every possible outcome. By afternoon, rumors of a private confrontation began circulating. Fans claimed that Yandy had shown up at Tamar's hotel unannounced, demanding answers. Speculation spread like wildfire. Yandy stormed in, yelling. Tamar's calm reaction shows she expected it. Mendeecees was caught in the middle. The reality of what happened, or didn't happen, became secondary to the narrative fans had constructed. The drama lived on in the minds of followers, a continuous self-propagating spectacle. Yandy felt the pressure mounting. Each imagined confrontation, each imagined accusation, weighed on her chest like a physical burden. In the evening, she retreated to the safety of her home, trying to find some semblance of peace. She paced the floor, replaying scenarios, imagining conversations that might never happen. The emotional strain was relentless. Memories of happier times with Mendeecees clashed violently with the image of him smiling beside Tamar. Jealousy, hurt, and confusion battled inside her, leaving her drained. Friends tried to check in, offering support. But even their well-intentioned messages couldn't break through the storm inside her mind. And then came a twist no one had anticipated. A video surfaced online, allegedly from the vacation itself, showing Tamar and Mendeecees in an intimate moment, laughing together, seemingly oblivious to the world. Fans were in an uproar. Comments flew by at a dizzying pace. Some defended Tamar, claiming innocence, while others sided with Yandy, predicting an inevitable showdown. The family, already divided, became further entangled in the controversy. Cousins, siblings, friends, everyone had an opinion, and each opinion added layers of tension. Yandy felt surrounded, the scrutiny of her personal life amplified by the relentless curiosity of fans. As the night deepened, messages from unknown numbers began to appear. Some claimed insider knowledge, hinting at secrets that could shatter reputations. Yandy's anxiety spiked. She didn't know what to believe, who to trust, or which rumors were planted to manipulate the narrative. Every detail she uncovered seemed to raise more questions than answers. The emotional toll was immense, and she struggled to maintain a sense of control over her own story. By morning, the social media storm showed no signs of slowing. Every platform buzzed with speculation, each more dramatic than the last. Fans dissected body language, interpreted tone, predicted next moves, and even fabricated behind-the-scenes details. Yandy felt trapped in a narrative she hadn't written. Her life publicly scrutinized, each action interpreted through the lens of drama. She struggled to breathe under the weight of expectation, uncertainty, and relentless curiosity. Then came the unexpected arrival of a new ally. A former friend of Tamar reached out privately, offering insight into the dynamics of the vacation. They revealed tensions, subtle manipulations, and undercurrents that no one outside the inner circle could have known. Yandy listened carefully, absorbing the information while trying to filter truth from exaggeration. The revelations were shocking, painting a picture that complicated her feelings even further. As the day unfolded, fan theories multiplied. Some claimed that Yandy had already known about the vacation, that her reaction was staged. Others insisted that Tamar and Mendeecees had been plotting a public display for weeks. The narratives collided, creating a tangled web of assumptions, accusations, and imagined confrontations. Yandy felt herself caught in the eye of a hurricane, emotions swirling around her while the outside world speculated with relentless intensity. Even her closest friends were split. Some urged her to confront Tamar directly, others advised patience, and a few suggested silence as the ultimate weapon. The weight of advice, coupled with the ceaseless public scrutiny, left Yandy feeling overwhelmed. She wanted answers, clarity, and resolution, but each step toward understanding seemed to create more questions, more drama, and more public attention. As night approached again, whispers of another revelation began to surface. A leaked message from Mendeecees hinted at feelings, confessions, and regrets that could change the entire narrative. Fans speculated feverishly, imagining heated confrontations, tearful confessions, and dramatic fallout. Yandy knew that the next 24 hours could redefine everything: alliances, perceptions, and her own sense of self. She braced herself, realizing that surviving this maelstrom required resilience she wasn't sure she possessed. And so, with emotions frayed and anticipation high, Yandy prepared for what was next. The drama, the tension, and the spectacle were far from over. Secrets lingered, alliances shifted, and fans waited, hungry for every twist and revelation. Yandy's world had been transformed, her private pain laid bare for the public to consume. Every glance, every post, every word mattered, and the storm of speculation was only just gathering momentum. The night stretched on, heavy with expectation, and Yandy knew the coming days would challenge everything she thought she understood about trust, loyalty, and love. The following morning, Yandy awoke to another digital avalanche. Her phone vibrated incessantly, notifications piling up faster than she could process. Screenshots, fan theories, heated debates, and even mock videos flooded her feeds. The vacation post by Tamar had become the centerpiece of a global discussion, dissected and analyzed by millions who had never met any of them. Every new upload felt like a spotlight shining directly on her chest, forcing her to relive the emotions she had tried to suppress. She scrolled through the comments, her heart racing, every word cutting deeper than the last. Some fans expressed sympathy, but most were speculative, judgmental, or outright cruel. Friends called, desperate to offer support. Yandy breathed. Take a moment, one said, though Yandy barely heard them, lost in the storm of emotion. She had questions, endless questions, about Tamar, about Mendeecees, about loyalty, about truth. Every theory she read seemed plausible, and every imagined scenario threatened to unravel her even further. Her mind raced from one possibility to another, the weight of uncertainty crushing her resolve. She wanted to act, to confront, to demand answers, but the ever-watchful eyes of fans made every decision a high-stakes gamble. Around midday, whispers of a private confrontation began circulating. Insiders claimed that Yandy and Tamar had exchanged heated words in a secluded spot, emotions running high, voices raised, tears shed. Fans speculated wildly, imagining the scene, slamming doors, frantic accusations, moments of vulnerability exposed. The lines between reality and imagination blurred as the public narrative overtook the truth. Yandy felt trapped in a drama she hadn't authored, every imagined confrontation amplified in the minds of millions. Meanwhile, Mendeecees' absence or strategic silence fueled further speculation. Some claimed he had orchestrated the entire display, while others believed he was caught between the two women. Unsure how to navigate the emotional minefield, fans dissected old footage, analyzed interviews, and searched for signs of his feelings, intentions, and possible alliances. Every word he had ever spoken was scrutinized, every social media post reinterpreted, and every reaction magnified. Yandy's world had become a chessboard where every move carried immense consequences. As the day wore on, a new revelation arrived. An insider posted a video snippet of Tamar and Mendeecees laughing together, their happiness undeniable. The video went viral instantly. Fans reacted in a frenzy, debating motives, predicting confrontations, and assigning blame. Hashtags trended, comment sections exploded, and the family became a focal point of the chaos. Cousins, siblings, and friends offered conflicting accounts, adding layers of tension to an already volatile situation. Yandy felt suffocated, surrounded by speculation, and painfully aware that every action she took was being dissected publicly. By evening, Yandy tried to retreat to her sanctuary at home, hoping to find some peace. She paced her bedroom, replaying every conversation, every shared laugh, every argument. Jealousy, hurt, confusion, and fear battled inside her relentlessly. She thought of confrontations yet to come, of possible clarifications, of apologies or confessions. The emotional weight pressed heavily on her chest, leaving her exhausted. She tried to ground herself, but the relentless speculation and public scrutiny allowed no respite. In a sudden twist, a new voice entered the chaos. An anonymous source, claiming insider knowledge, sent her messages revealing tensions and subtle manipulations she hadn't known existed. Yandy read carefully, absorbing every detail while questioning the authenticity of the source. The revelations complicated her understanding further, showing that the dynamics of the vacation and the relationships involved were far more intricate than she had imagined. The emotional complexity grew, intertwining pain, betrayal, and unresolved questions into a tangled web. The night brought no relief. Social media continued to churn with fan theories, debates, and predictions. Every post was analyzed, every reaction interpreted, and every silence scrutinized. Yandy's personal grief had become a spectacle for millions. Each emotional fluctuation she experienced anger, sorrow, Confusion was amplified and consumed by an audience hungry for drama. The private became public. The intimate transformed into entertainment. She felt the relentless pressure, a constant reminder that her emotions were no longer her own. Then came a direct message from Mendeecees himself, brief but loaded with tension. "We need to talk," it read. Yandy's heart skipped a beat. Anticipation, fear, and uncertainty collided in a storm of emotion. She imagined the conversation. Accusations, confessions, perhaps apologies, or further misunderstandings. The future felt precarious. Every choice laden with risk. Every word with potential consequences. The drama was escalating, and the coming moments promised to be pivotal. Through the late-night hours, she replayed moments repeatedly, reconstructing every interaction, every glance, every word exchanged. Memories of happier times clashed violently with the current public spectacle. She questioned intentions, loyalties, and trust. Jealousy mixed with longing. Betrayal mingled with confusion, and fear intertwined with hope. The emotional landscape was treacherous, and she navigated it carefully, aware that any misstep could ignite a new wave of speculation. Meanwhile, social media continued to fan the flames. Influencers created analysis videos, dissecting interactions, speculating on future confrontations, and predicting outcomes. Fans theorized endlessly, creating narratives from fragments of conversations, screenshots, and glimpses captured on vacation. The intensity of attention left Yandy feeling vulnerable and exposed, every thought and emotion magnified by millions of spectators. She struggled to find grounding, to reclaim control over her own story, even as the public seemed to dominate it. By morning, the narrative had shifted yet again. Rumors suggested that Tamar had posted the photo deliberately to provoke a reaction, that Mendeecees had been aware and complicit, and that the family was secretly divided. Fans debated motives, loyalty, and strategy with feverish intensity. The complexity of relationships, the hidden tensions, and the visible joy in Tamar's posts created a labyrinth of drama that seemed impossible to untangle. Yandy felt the weight of it all, the pressure to respond, to assert herself, to reclaim her narrative. And then came another twist. A leaked voice note surfaced, allegedly from Tamar, discussing the vacation and the dynamics between her and Mendeecees. The clip sparked further speculation, each word analyzed for hidden meaning. Fans debated intently, social media posts multiplied, and the drama intensified. Yandy felt cornered, the public eye unrelenting, the story spiraling beyond her control. She realized that each new revelation, whether true or fabricated, fueled the frenzy further, creating an ever-growing storm of emotion and speculation. As the day ended, Yandy remained in a state of heightened alert, her mind racing through every possible scenario. Confrontations, clarifications, public statements, private reconciliations, all were possibilities, each with immense stakes. The emotional intensity left her exhausted, yet vigilant, aware that any lapse could trigger another wave of drama. She braced herself, knowing that the next moments could redefine everything along Mendeecees' perceptions and personal relationships. The storm of speculation showed no signs of abating, and Yandy stood at the center, navigating a world where personal emotion and public spectacle collided with relentless force. The morning after, Yandy awoke to a barrage of alerts and messages that left her shaking. The previous night's leaks, rumors, and viral posts had multiplied into a full-blown social media storm. Fans were relentless, speculating, dissecting, and debating every possible scenario. Each notification felt like a fresh strike, pulling her deeper into the vortex of public scrutiny. She scrolled through her feeds, heart racing, trying to make sense of the endless commentary. Some fans sympathized, some mocked, while others crafted elaborate theories about betrayal, manipulation, and hidden motives. As she processed the chaos, a message appeared from a mutual friend of Tamar and Mendeecees. "Yandy, you need to know, it wasn't what it looked like," the text read. She stared at the words, unsure whether to trust them. The emotional stakes were sky-high. Every fragment of information carried potential to shift her perception. Yet she also knew that false narratives could spread just as fast as truths. The tension inside her coiled tighter with every passing minute, the boundaries between reality and speculation becoming increasingly blurred. Yandy's phone rang again. This time, it was Mendeecees. "We need to clear the air," he said, his voice calm but tinged with urgency. She swallowed, trying to steady herself. Okay," she murmured, her mind racing with questions, accusations, and fear of the unknown. She imagined the conversation ahead, confrontations, confessions, denials, or perhaps explanations that could either soothe or escalate the emotional whirlwind. The anticipation left her breathless, every second stretching into eternity. Meanwhile, Tamar posted another story. This time a boomerang of her and Mendeecees laughing on a yacht, sun glinting off the water, their smiles radiant. The internet erupted. Hashtags trended. Fans debated every glance, every gesture. The speculation reached fever pitch. Some argued this was deliberate, a calculated display to provoke Yandy. Others claimed innocence, insisting the vacation had been spontaneous, harmless. The public was consumed, and Yandy's private anguish became a global spectacle. By midday, friends and family were weighing in, adding layers of complexity. Some defended Yandy, sympathizing with her perceived heartbreak, while others questioned her perspective, suggesting misinterpretation or overreaction. The internal dynamics of the family became fodder for social media discussion, each opinion intensifying the drama. Yandy felt as if she were walking through a minefield. Every step fraught with potential disaster, every word scrutinized, every glance interpreted. As the afternoon wore on, rumors of a confrontation between Yandy and Tamar began circulating again. Fans imagined slamming doors, raised voices, tears, and apologies, constructing scenes entirely from speculation. The boundaries between truth and fabrication blurred, creating an emotional labyrinth in which Yandy was both the protagonist and the victim. Her heart raced as she considered the possibility of such an encounter, each imagined exchange leaving her more vulnerable. In the evening, an anonymous source claimed to have insider footage of the vacation, showing moments that fans hadn't yet seen. Speculation ran rampant. Everyone had a theory that Tamar had been manipulating the situation, that Mendeecees had known all along, that Yandy's reaction had been anticipated. The frenzy was relentless, leaving Yandy overwhelmed, each new revelation destabilizing her sense of reality. By nightfall, she retreated to her bedroom, trying to process the emotional avalanche. She scribbled notes, recording every thought, every feeling, every detail she could recall. Anger, confusion, jealousy, hurt, they all spilled onto the pages, tangled and raw. Yet, even as she tried to find solace in writing, the world outside continued to speculate, analyze, and judge. Her personal life had become a public drama, each emotion magnified, each action dissected. Then came another twist. A leaked text, allegedly from Tamar to Mendeecees, surfaced online. The words were playful, casual, yet the timing and context fueled speculation. Fans dissected every phrase, creating entire narratives around the nuances of punctuation, tone, and emotion. The intensity of the attention left Yandy feeling cornered. Every step in her day monitored, every glance interpreted, every reaction magnified. The storm was inescapable. As midnight approached, a private call came through from a family member, warning her about the growing intensity of the situation. "Yandy, people are watching your every move. Be careful," they said. She nodded, though the weight of vigilance pressed heavily. Every decision mattered. Every word could spark another round of drama. She realized that the personal and public were now inseparable. Her emotions no longer contained. Her privacy dissolved in the glare of social media. In the quiet moments, she reflected on her relationships, past arguments, shared laughter, private jokes, all now reframed through the lens of public perception. Jealousy mingled with longing, confusion intertwined with hurt. The emotional complexity was suffocating. She longed for clarity, for understanding, for resolution, but every possible path seemed fraught with risk, every interaction loaded with potential consequences. By dawn, rumors of a mediation attempt began to circulate. Insiders hinted at a possible meeting between Yandy, Tamar, and Mendeecees meant to clarify intentions, air grievances, or perhaps reach a fragile truce. Fans speculated endlessly, imagining dramatic confrontations, tearful apologies, and revelations that could change everything. The anticipation was electric, the stakes impossibly high. Yandy's world had become a stage, and she was both actor and audience, navigating a narrative she hadn't authored, reacting in real time to events beyond her control. Even as the sun rose, the drama showed no signs of abatement. Leaks, rumors, and social media posts created a continuous feedback loop of speculation. Every gesture, every word, every silence was interpreted, dissected, and debated. Yandy felt trapped in a spectacle where the personal and public collided violently, each emotional wave amplified by an audience hungry for drama. Her thoughts raced with potential strategies, possible conversations, and imagined confrontations. The day ahead promised more twists, more revelations, and more emotional turbulence. By midday, a new twist arrived. A supposed friend of Tamar publicly hinted at secrets that could change the narrative completely. Fans immediately theorized, predicting dramatic confrontations and shocking revelations. The intensity was overwhelming. Yandy, despite her exhaustion, felt compelled to prepare, to anticipate, to strategize. The storm of emotion and speculation was relentless, leaving her no room to breathe, no space to process, and no certainty about what the next hours would bring. As night descended again, she realized the drama had become something bigger than personal conflict. It was a social phenomenon. Fans debated motives, loyalty, and integrity. Influencers created hours-long analysis videos. Hashtags exploded across platforms. The personal anguish Yandy felt was amplified exponentially. Every heartbeat, every sigh, every expression scrutinized and interpreted. She was caught in a whirlwind of emotion, speculation, and anticipation. Uncertain where it would all lead, but knowing that the story was far from over. So here's where you come in. We've seen every twist, every betrayal, every secret that's leaked into the spotlight. But the story isn't finished. Then that's where you, the fans, get to weigh in. What do you think Yandy should do next? Will she confront Tamar? Will Mendeecees finally speak out? Or is this just the beginning of a drama that will spiral even further? Your voice matters in this conversation, and we want to hear every theory, every prediction, every gut reaction. Hit that like button if you've been following the chaos from the start and can't believe the turns this story has taken. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss a moment of the drama, the twists, and the inside scoops as they unfold. Turn on notifications because things are moving fast, and you'll want to be the first to see every new post, every leaked message, and every shocking revelation. Comment below